So Israel killed the Prime Minister of Yemen on August 28th, 2025. Israel, while they were doing their genocide of 680,000 Palestinian people, Jesus Christ, people of Bethlehem, the slaughter of the innocents, this Ahmed al-Rahawi, the Prime Minister of Yemen, they killed the fucking leader of Yemen. Now, Abraham Lincoln, this Harvard professor, had pointed out that Abraham Lincoln had said that assassination of political leaders in international law was prohibited. Abraham Lincoln condemned the call for assassinations as international outlawry. In 1863, it was an outrage where civilized nations viewed with horror, and it merits the sternest retaliation. So this was the Abraham Lincoln administration. It wasn't a speech. I'll get on the details right now. But this was the Prime Minister of Yemen. So as long as we got that in there, we see his picture, we see his face. Why was Israel pissed off at the Prime Minister of Yemen? Well, they were one of the few people that stood up against them and their genocide. So the details of this is actually crazy. After they had killed the Prime Minister of Yemen, the Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said, "As we warn the Houthis in Yemen, after the plague of darkness comes the plague of the firstborn." So there's strict talk exactly about slaughter of the innocents, right? Moses was born out of the slaughter of the innocents, and so was Jesus the Christ. This is referencing the biblical plagues of Egypt. He added that anyone who raises a hand against Israel, their hand will be severed. So very bloody and psychotic. And it wasn't just Ahmed al-Rahawi, the Prime Minister of Yemen, but he also had the Minister of Information and Foreign Affairs, like the entire council, like the entire fucking government. Israel blew up the entire fucking government of Yemen. You had Al-Gamari, Al-Amidi, Al-Kubaisi, Muhammad, Abdullah Ali, Bajala, Ali Al-Mawla, Al-Rubai, Al-Yafi, Al-Mahakri, Jamar Ahmed, Amir Hashin Ahmed, Shah Raf al-Din. So all those guys are killed. All those guys are blown up by Israel. Why? Because Israel doesn't want people stopping their genocide. They want to fucking murder children. They're addicted to killing kids. They can't stop themselves when it comes to mass murder of children. There was 10 Israeli airstrikes that hit sites in Sinai, while further attacks took place in the governorates of Ran and Hajjah. Saudi news outlet Al-Hadath reported that both the Israeli Air Force and the Israeli Navy partook in the strikes. So, the speech of Abraham Lincoln, it wasn't a speech, it was from the Lieber Code. Lincoln authorized the General Order Number 100, known as the Lieber Code, on April 24th, 1863. The document provided instructions for Union soldiers during the Civil War and served as a precedent for the laws of war. There was a ban on assassination. Article 148 addressed assassination, stating that neither an individual soldier nor a citizen of a hostile government could be declared an outlaw to be killed without trial. It compared this to international outlawry in peacetime law. Something about relapses into barbarism. Let's actually take a look at this Lieber Code. General Order Number 100, Article 148. The law of war does not allow proclaiming either an individual belonging to the hostile army or a citizen or a subject of the hostile government an outlaw, who may be slain without trial by any captor, any more than the modern law of peace allows such international outlawry. On the contrary, it abhors, this is under assassination, it abhors such outrage. The sternest retaliation should follow the murder committed in consequence of such proclamation made by whatever authority Civilized nations look with horror upon offers of rewards for the assassination of enemies as relapses into barbarism. I don't know, it seems like war is hell. Let's see, August 28th, 2025, the IDF, death to the IDF, death to the IDF, did an airstrike August 28, 2025 in a villa in the Beat Balls area near Sinai. 9 ministers, 2 other top officials, plus the Prime Minister Ahmed al-Rahawi, was murdered. He was killed. He was assassinated. And then Israel does shit. Apparently, according to Netanyahu, they both have goals, but they're pretty much in concert. The U.S. government and the Israeli government are in concert with what the IDF is up to. And even if the U.S. government didn't know about this beforehand, we give them United Nations protection, we give them billions of dollars, and not only money, but also bombs and planes and tanks and lots of military equipment. After the strike, the Houthis appointed Mohammed Ahmed Mufta as the acting prime minister. They killed the whole fucking government of Yemen. I mean, that's just fucking insane. JFK had allowed the CIA to pull off the political assassination of the leader of South Vietnam 3 weeks prior to his assassination. And that's all I'm going to say about that. R.I.P. to Ahmed al-Rahawi. Just an older guy. Just an older guy. Just the Prime Minister of Yemen, one of the few countries in the entire world that stood against the disgusting and massive genocide. Also, they got a war with Saudi Arabia, which, never forget, that's 9/11. Saudi Arabia calls 9/11. But Pete Davidson and Dave Chappelle is going to go make the Royal Crown King, make sure he laughs at some of their jokes. And Bill Burr. And that one fat fuck was going to, but then he said something critical and then they canned him. What was that one fat fuck's name? I don't know, but shame on Bill Burr and goddamn Dave Chappelle and motherfucking Pete Davidson. So if you're an enemy of Israel during their genocide in Saudi Arabia who pulled off 9/11, killed that journalist, your enemy's enemy is your friend. So therefore, the Prime Minister of Yemen is a friend of mine.